Neil, congratulations.
Thank you.
Was this a no-brainer decision for you?
Well, first of all, I want to apologise to you all for being late. Seriously, I had a lot on this morning, and I know you boys are on a tight schedule, so I apologise for that. No-brainer. Yeah. Very, very grateful to be here. That the board, Peter, Mr. Desmond, have put the faith in me to see out the season, and yeah, it's been a very whirlwind sort of 24 hours, 36 hours, whatever you want to call it. But the most important thing is the club. We've lost a manager who'll go down as one of the greats, and I've got big shoes to fill, obviously. But looking forward to the challenge very much so.
Will you be in the dugout tonight?
Possibly. I don't know. I'll discuss it with the guys later on. I haven't had a chance to see the players yet, and John, obviously, who I'm delighted is here with me, and I will be leaning on John a lot. John has prepped the team. He knows the machinations, what goes on behind the scenes, how the routines of the players, the training programs. So I'll be relying on John very much so. So I'm delighted he's agreed to help me out. And whether I'm in the dugout tonight or not, we'll see.
When did you get an inkling that this might happen, and when did you have to cancel the flight to Doha?
Well, yesterday. Or was it Monday night? Maybe Monday night. So my Speedos and all packed. The Factor 50 all done, and now I'm stuck here with you guys. I'm sure you're all delighted about that.
You know what this club is about, you know what Scottish football is all about. Celtic fans will look at this as you're a safe pair of hands here, but is this a different challenge to the one that you took 9 years ago? Oh yeah, of course. Different circumstances, the team's been unbelievable, the last 2.5 years under Brendan. 7 trophies in a row, and top of the league at the minute, in the quarter-final of the Cup. When I took over the last time, the club was in a different position, so yeah, the circumstances are very different. But it's going to take maybe, and I haven't got much time to adjust, just to, meet the new players and getting to know them. And obviously for the players to adjust with life without Brendan as well, so we need to adapt that very quickly. And just finally for me, touching on the fact that this was a no-brainer for you, the baggage that comes with being an old firm manager as well. You had to deal with a lot the last time you were here. The off-field stuff. Was there a point in your mind you thought, maybe I don't need to deal with that anymore? Why would I want to get back into the middle of it? It never really came into my thinking. This is a club that means a hell of a lot to me. As a player and as a manager. And, had 4 great years here as a manager. It's a privilege. And these opportunities come around once in a lifetime for me. It's come around twice in a lifetime now. So I'll deal with all the other stuff as best I can. But for the short term, just focusing on game by game and making sure we do the right things at the right times.
Neil, how different a person do you think you are and different manager to the one who walked through here in 2010 or walked in here in 2010?
Well, I'm not as volatile, I don't think. I wanted to take on the world when I first took over, and I think you learn from that, you mellow from that, but I'm still got that energy and still got that will to win, which I want to always bring with me. And tactically, I think, you learn the game as you go along. You don't have all the answers, and certainly I don't want to be compared to Brendan, and I know some people will do that, as we go along, but Brendan has his way, and it's been fantastic, and I have my way, so we're individual in any ways, and I'm still, always learning. In fact, when I went up to Lennoxtown yesterday, I was learning new stuff as I went in there. The implementation of the stuff that Brendan's left in there I hadn't seen before, so yeah, it was a fantastic learning experience as well while I go along.
Did you always dream of coming back?
Yes.
You would?
Yes, well, you dream of it, you don't believe it, but one day I was hoping I would walk back through the doors, and it's come. Maybe a bit sooner than what I thought, but it's come.
It's now an interim job until the end of the season. I'm assuming you want that to be beyond the end of the season. Like
just not up to me, and I'm not even thinking about that. The club comes first. It's not about me, and I know there's going to be bay stories, and it's not about Brendan with his, the leaving. It's about the club and the players. And they're the most important aspect of my job here at the minute, making sure everything's right. This is a club decision, and come the summer it'll be another club decision what the board think is best for the club going forward.
How easy do you expect the transition to be, because you said this is a club and a side who are doing very, very well at the moment?
Well, it'll be nice. It'll be good to watch good players train every day and play football. So from that aspect, it's going to be a joy. It will take a bit of getting used to again. You know, I've been away for 4.5 years, but I know the culture of the club. You know, and everything changes and everything evolves, whether it be through different managers, coaches, or players. But I'm hoping it won't take too long to get right back into the mix again.
You said that you're going to lean on John quite a lot in the kind of short term. Would you accept that your style of football was different to Brendan's, and how much of that will you revert back to your own style or keep the current style?
No, keep the current style. And I don't think there's that much of this difference really. I like to play attacking football as did Brendan. I like to do it when we were Celtic. It's the DNA of the club. You know, we played attacking football at Hibs, you know, whenever we could. And it'll be exactly the same. It'll be expansive, hopefully, and easy on the eye, and hopefully some winning football as well. But as I touched on earlier, John's essential to me and imperative to me, and I'm delighted he's agreed to join me on this.
John, when did you first learn that Brendan was fully off?
Not till Monday when the kind of news broke. I spoke to Brendan before he departed Lennoxtown, and he just filled me in on what might be going on. He was basically going to have chats after the clubs had agreed. So in that time I was approached by the club, asked to kind of hold the fort and keep things ticking along and just prepare the team as normal for Wednesday, which we did. You know, spoke to the players yesterday, filled them in on what was going on. You know, explained that there's a possibility a manager might be appointed later last night, which is obviously going to be Neil, and there'll be a kind of restructuring. Okay, but I think Neil's touched on it as well. It's the most important thing here is, you know, Brendan's done a terrific job. You know, he decided to move on. These things happen, but ultimately the players have been a massive part of the success as well. You know, and I explained that to the players that, you know, manager's come in and had a great impact on what he's done. You know, but ultimately the team, you know, have went out there and performed for the manager. You know, so them as a whole have won 2 trebles. They're sitting in a fantastic position at the moment. You know, and there's behind the backroom staff very stable. You know, and Neil will come in and add to that. You know, and he's been here before, so for me the transition will be quite easy. You know, I know how it works. A lot of people around the building know him. You know, and as he touched on, the style of football when Neil was here, he was very successful. Very successful, played a good style. You know, attacking, and when he was at Hibs, he was one of the teams who we found the games very difficult against because of the way he played. So, you know, he's very well suited to the role. He knows what to expect. He's got all the experience, and you know, I'm delighted to be part of this.
Neil, you started the first of this 7 in a row. Well placed, do you think Celtic are to make it 8?
Well, they're in a great position. You know, 8 points clear, but that can obviously, the gap can close over 2-3 games. So we are very wary of that, obviously, and I'm very wary of that. The platform is there though to see it through. We've got big game players in the building, and you know, I'm expecting their instincts to kick in now. We're coming into the real business end of the season, so I'm looking forward to obviously meeting them and then seeing them play.
In terms of your remit, could you plan ahead in terms of recruitment for next season?
Well, I haven't touched on that yet with Peter, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Do you think the expectation is even greater now than from when you were here last time?
Yeah, I think Brenton certainly raised the bar, you know, in terms of trophies anyway, and you know, everyone's talking about 10. I'd just like to get the 8 first and then take it from there. So that is the most important thing to me, and I'm not looking too far ahead. Tonight we've got a real tough game away at Tynecastle, which is a very difficult place to go and get a result. So we're going to just take it game by game. I know it's an old cliche, but we'll just take it game by game.
Neil, was there any sense of risk or jeopardy for you in taking this? I guess you've been handed the ball and asked not to drop it.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I wouldn't say risk, but yeah, there's pressure, but pressure's relative. You know, all managers at all levels have pressures, you know, and I just want to adjust quickly. You know, it's only been 24 hours, and like I said already, haven't even had a chance to talk to the players, and that's where John and Damien are very, very important for the short term anyway. But yeah, I mean, every job you take has an element of risk towards it, but I'm not even worried about that. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just going to enjoy the moment and enjoy what lies in front of me.
You know how passionate you are, Neil. Are you expecting to change your behaviour somewhat now that you're.
What are you trying to say? Well, I've been on good behaviour this year. You know, I've had no issues with referees or linesmen, to the point where I was voted onto the committee. You know, the all points committee. But yeah, I mean, like I said, when I was earlier in my career, I wanted to take on the world. You know, with a big chip on my shoulder. It's not a chip now, but I've still got something on my shoulder. You know, and I like to have that edge. But yeah, in terms of my behaviour, I will obviously monitor that as best I can.
What is it? Is it maturity? Is it more experience? What is it that's changed for you?
Yeah, it's maturity, it's experience, and obviously you don't want to be here, particularly now, with the run-in, sitting in the stand and not being able to do your job properly, so I'm very worried of that.
You know, when you got the gig the last time, you said that you wanted to bring the Thunder back. What would be the kind of remit now, X years on?
Well, the Thunder's here, so I don't need to bring that back, just bring some trophies back. You know, that would be the remit. That's what we're looking forward to do. I'm looking forward to, you know, a real good end of the season with the players, and obviously, more importantly, the supporters as well, because I know they're feeling a little bit agitated. I get that, I totally understand that, but it's up to me to sort of try and soothe that.
You touched on the game tonight, away at Tynecastle, away to Easter Road on Saturday. It's quite a start for you.
It is, yeah, but I mean, you're going to have to play these teams at some stage, so it's come very, very early. You know, didn't expect to be going back to Easter Road, you know, after just a month away, but football has these little coincidences, little quirks, and again, I'm not even looking at Easter Road at the minute. The only focus now is on tonight.
Are these the types of games that make you want to come back and be the Celtic manager?
Any type of game for Celtic makes you want to come back to be the Celtic manager, so this is just one of many we're looking forward to.
Neil, Kieran Jenkins, Channel 4.
Hello.
We might not be a familiar face to you in this context, but I wonder, it's inevitable that you will be a target for sectarian abuse. How prepared are you for that?
As I always have been. You know, I don't want to, like, we can touch on that. I mean, I know it's been in the news a lot over the last week or so, because it's obviously, you know, happened to Steve, but this isn't a day for talking about sectarianism. I don't want to be carrying that baggage with me for the rest of my career. I want to come in here, talk about football, talk about this great club, talk about these great players, fans, staff. That's for another day.
Do you accept that now that you have a higher
That's for another
profile,
day.
perhaps you've become a greater target? Was that in any way part of your decision? Did you have to think about it at
No,
all?
not at all, no.
Neil, John touched on earlier that over the last few years, your Hibernian team gave Celtic some of the hardest games. You identified areas to exploit in those matches. Do you feel that because of that, there's areas that you know of in the current team that you could improve?
Not much, you know. I mean, if you look at Celtic's form since the turn of the year, it's been fantastic. You know, not conceding many goals, winning games well. I thought they were fantastic in Valencia as well. You know, up until the refereeing decision that turned the game, lads are in brilliant form. So you can always look for flaws. You can always look for things to improve on. You're not going to get the perfect team, otherwise there'd be no point in turning up. But this team is, what I like about them is the mentality. The mentality is excellent, and the quality of football has been exemplary. They've been exceptional for the club over the last 2.5 years, and I just want them to carry on in the same vein.
Do all the players get a fresh start?
Pardon?
Do all the players get a fresh start?
Well, of course, yeah. But there's a core here who have led the way, and I will be leaning on them obviously in the running, because they know how to get it done.
John, was there ever a consideration for you to join Brendan and Chris and Cole? Or was that ever an option?
No. Obviously, the good relationship with the manager was here. Worked very closely with him. You know, I've had a very good time here at Celtic over my piece. You know, since I finished playing, you know, been given different opportunities and worked my way up to this point. And you know, the manager when he was leaving asked me to, you know, be prepared to take the team, and we'll see where it went from there. And it quickly evolved to the situation I'm sitting in now, where Neil's asked me to be his assistant manager, and you know, I'm delighted to do that. You know, because I've been here my whole career. You know, this club does mean a lot to me, and again, it's just when a crucial moment. There's probably timing wise, it's difficult for people to understand and maybe get their heads round. Okay, but there's behind that, there's a lot of stability in the club. You know, and that's why Neil come in and do a terrific job, because of the support he'll have behind that.
On that timing issue, there are a lot of Celtic fans who feel that Brendan has let the club down in some shape or form. What would you say to that?
listen, it's one of these things. You know, it's Brendan's decision. You would have to ask him the main reasons for that. He's the only one who can tell you. You know, for me, it's just a case of I've got a job to do here. You know, I'm employed by Celtic, and as Neil touched on, it's about the club, it's about the players. You know, and it's going and putting a performance in tonight at Hearts and getting a result there, and that'll kick-start us now. Hopefully at the end of the season.
John's a question for yourself and Neil. Given that Brendan worked with the players for 33 months and he knows what talent is here, given that he's gone to an EPL club, is there a fear that he might come calling for some of those top players come the summer?
I think, you know, when managers move, there could be movement in that respect, but, you know, speaking to the players yesterday and see how they responded in training, they were fully focused on here and now. You know, there's no heads being turned. Initially when you spoke to them, there was that shock there, you know, but by the time they get their heads round, they got on the training pitch, full focus was in the game tonight. So yeah, the summer will come. There might be, you know, a few rumours flying around from now till then, but, you know, the players know they're here till the summer to do a job. You know, me myself being here, Neil knowing the club, knows what's expected, you know, what the fans expect, and the players certainly know what the fans expect, so we'll certainly be allowed to deliver that.
And for you, Neil, would you see your arrival as potentially making those players stay here that might be approached?
That would be the intention, yeah. What I would say to the players from my own experience is, once you leave Celtic, it's not the same. It's a very special club, with very special support. And I know from my own experience and players who I played with, once they leave the club, there's a bit of a hole there, you know, something in your spirit that's just not quite the same. It's magical what this club provides for players, and if they are thinking about leaving, it'll make them think twice.
And what was your reaction when you learned that Brendan was leaving or had gone at this juncture of the season? I
was surprised, you know, just because of the timing, that was all. From a professional point of view, I can maybe understand it to a certain extent. He's got his ambitions, Brendan. You know, the Premier League is, you know, seen by many to be the top league in the world, and he's going to a very good club, I know very well. So, you know, as he goes, an opportunity has come up for me, and I want to take it with both hands.
Have you spoken to him, Neil?
Not yet, no. He'll be busy, and trust me, Caroline, I've been very busy.
Last time when you left, was there a sense that you felt you'd taken the club as far as you could? But that was what, 2014. Your view, has it changed since then? Have you kind of got a new energy, new goals?
Yeah, new energy. Yeah, I had 4 great years, you know, and it was just the time I needed myself personally to have a bit of a break, you know, because it is high octane, it's chaotic, and I needed a break, and I took, you know, maybe 6 months out of the game, and then I was ready to come back into it and look for a different challenge. But I always in the back of I left the club on great terms. Left the club on our terms with Peter and Mr. Desmond on the board, and that was really important to me. You know, I didn't go under a cloud. I know you get conjecture, you know, he fell out with this one, he fell out, there was nothing like that at all, and I've always kept a good line of communication open with Peter and the club.
Neil, I appreciate you saying this is not about yourself, it's about the club, but what would it mean to you to potentially be given the opportunity to have another 2-3 years here, and what do you think realistically you would have to achieve?
Raman, if I get offered the job, and it's a big if, then I will answer those questions when the time comes. But I have a lot of work to do before that may happen.
Okay. John, can we just ask him, reports this morning that Callum's got a bit of an injury, what's the situation there, please?
Yeah, Callum's got a bit of a calf issue there, so he'll miss, you know, probably the next game or two, then we'll take it from there. As soon as Ryan Christie went off the weekend, hamstring issue, and again we'll see how he progresses, but he'll be out for the next week or two at least.
Callum's time scale is what, sorry?
We'll see, there'll be a miss tonight and the weekend definitely, and then we'll have a look at it next week and see what he's at for the
just one question on the bigger picture. There's a number of lads that are going to be leaving here out of contract, loan periods. How does that work develop now when it's a kind of interim structure in place?
Yeah, I think, you know, for us it's behind the scenes, I said, it's stable. You know, Neil's come into a very good environment, you know, and he'll add to that, be his own style, his own management. But in terms of planning, it doesn't stop. You know, in terms of what's been put in place and the planning going forward will continue. You know, we know there's going to be some changes in the summer. Players are out of contract, there's loan players here who will go back to their clubs. You know, and the bigger picture is, and Neil's emphasised it numerous times now, it's about the club. So the club will work in a certain manner. The manager will come in and put his style on that, and you know, I'd imagine pretty much Neil will assess the squad as well as we go along, and everybody will be behind the scenes working and planning for next season, and we'll see what happens from there.
Neil, you know how to pick your starts, don't you? Away to Hearts, away to Hibs.
It's just the quirks of the job, I suppose. So I'm sure I'll get a very nice welcome at Tynecastle tonight from both sets of fans.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.